Way too many fakes in my face, I can see the evils. Drug addictions, bad bitches, they gotta be jokes. See the pico, black slacks, it's RP.
What's good, yo? We back, RTTV.
What's good, yo? We back, RTTV.
It's a podcast.
It's That Settles It podcast, and we've been thinking about making a podcast for a while, guys. We had several different attempts in the past,
sure.
But this nagging topic that keeps coming up in the last week. You know what I'm saying? We were going into, let's dive into it. We was going into the intentions of watching Death Note, because I've watched Death Note. Yep. Patrick, have you watched Death Note?
No, I did not.
Jerry, have you watched Death Note?
No, have I said I did.
Robbie, have you watched Death Note?
I don't know.
I
watched an episode. That's it.
But back then, you
back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Evan didn't watch, he can't be here right now, but he did not watch Death Note. He didn't even watch Dragon Ball Z. But I know
Anime, generally.
But he's not even a part of the discussion because he wasn't in the video that you guys keep tagging us in. So I'll go over the history, right? So we recently started Death Note. It's available, the first 2 episodes, on our Patreon right now if you want to check that out.
Yes, sir.
Link is down below. A few years ago when we first started YouTube, there's a video, episode 1 of 7 Deadly Sins. It will be linked down below.
Right now.
As well. And there's a part of us saying, we never watched Death Note. That's why we're watching 7 Deadly Sins.
No, the other way around.
So we did have a poll a few weeks back saying which one you wanted us to watch. The only reason we didn't do Death Note, guys, is because you all have watched Death Note. Yeah. So it's not going to be a fun
Miles grew up
reaction.
on that shit.
Yeah, so that's why we decided to go with something brand new with 7 Deadly Sins. And
that we said that we did watch.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. We did watch Death Note. It wouldn't be fun. That's why we're watching 7 Deadly Sins.
And I grew up on watching Death Note.
Pat added that bar. So because the people, the clip that's been trending is 1 minute and 6 seconds, right?
Yep.
So right before that, if you guys check the video, we say that we had a poll on what shows to watch next. At that point, we had only watched Dragon Ball Z, Attack on Titan, and One Punch Man.
That's it.
And we were in a big channel then. We were thinking, what next anime should we do?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of channels, they do a poll. You know what? Let's do a poll. So we did a poll.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? 7 Deadly Sins is on that poll. Death Note. I can't find the poll. It was in our community post, and it was more than 2 years ago at this point, so we can't locate it right now. But we had a bunch of different shows there, and Death Note wins.
By our surprise.
Yeah. So, 1 second. As a plane flying by.
Yeah, that's just a loud ass plane, bro.
As this adds to the suspense. So Death Note wins that poll by far, right? And as a early channel, we're doing music, we're doing anime. We haven't even started live action show reactions at that point. We kind of wanted to keep the success in anime. We want to see our channel keep growing like it has been. We did Dragon Ball Super at its height, with Jiren fighting. Goku fighting Jiren Ultra Instinct in the finale of the Tournament of Power. We did Attack on Titan. There's a lot of shocking moments in that too.
Action, all that.
And then One Punch Man. You already know it was just season 1 at that point, but One Punch Man, it was pretty crazy in terms of action that season. So before we go into why, we said. We told our lie on why we watched Death Note. I kind of want to go over how you guys feel when you started seeing these comments about we watched it, and how shocked you guys were that they would even bring episode 1 or we have history.
Yeah,
technically, you know what I'm saying.
Sure.
So what did you guys think when you first saw it?
Yo, honestly, bro, I forgot all about Like what we said in that video. So my nigga, I'm thinking in my head like, yo, y'all bugging out. It's like, did we theorize something? Like I was thinking like, did me, Rob, or Jerry theorize something so spot on that I was like, nah, they had to watch the show. So I was really confused by it. And you know, we already had allegations with different shows of people saying like, yo, your theory's too crazy. Like, yo, Rob, your theory's too crazy, my nigga. It's like, yo, you probably watched it. So I was just confused because like I would never watch a show then fake the reaction after. Like I hate the idea of having to fake a reaction, especially with a show that's anticipated like as Death Note. So yeah, I was thrown off.
Honestly, I felt some type of way. I kind of felt offended. Because it's like the one thing about me is that before I watch any show, I'll tell y'all if I watch a show or not. Like happily. That's like in live action, cartoons, anything that we do, anything that I watch, I will happily be like, I'll tell you. I would never fake a reaction and be like, well, what you would call it? I watch a show, but let me act like I didn't watch a show. Like I don't like. What do I get out of that? Like I don't even enjoy that. So like when I first saw it, I felt hella offended. And then when I saw the video, I was like, wait, what? I'm like, what? I was just like, what? Like, I'm like, why? I'm like, yo, why? And I'm just thinking, I'm like, yo, why was he even say that? Like, I don't even remember what was going on in my head at the time because it was so. It was at Edwin's house. It wasn't even in here. We weren't even in Cali at this point. We were still in Providence at Edwin's house when this was said. That's why it's like it makes so much sense that we wouldn't remember something like that. So at first, before I saw the video, I really felt some type of way. I felt hurt. I'm like, yo, what?
Trey's like, come see me.
Like, what are you talking about? My reaction's fake. His hands ain't fake. What are you talking about?
Nah, when I seen it, I honestly knew exactly when they said in the episode. I already knew they were telling the truth. And I actually was happy when I heard it because it was just showcased that we have people that really watch all our content and been watching it since back then. And I feel like it's good so they could see the evolution because at the end of the day, that's when we first started watching anime. So it's good to give history to the channel. And I kind of like the controversy because it was like a general controversy that was stirred up by real supporters, and they just want to know the truth. Like, yo, are you writing your bars or not? Like, I want to know, and I respect it because I feel like you guys appreciate our art so much, and it was like, yo, we need answers to it. And when the thing, I feel like with this opportunity to showcase, we're never scared to communicate with you guys and let you guys know how just the conversation. Like, yo, did you guys do this A, B, and C? And I like that this occurred because it was perfect time for our podcast because I feel like this is a great start to a podcast, just having real conversations with people that support us because this podcast is for the real supporters and to branch it out bigger because you guys want us to speak more, have more dialogue, and I just feel like what perfect way with you guys starting it off. So salute to y'all. I actually love that y'all while I'm playing with us. Always, what's it called? Stat check.
Yeah, and they're always holding us accountable too.
Yep.
You know, and our professionalism back then wasn't the same as it is today. Like we were a lot smaller back then. So let's go into like why we lied about watching Death Note at that point. So again, like I mentioned before, we've had success with like action anime or like shocking anime. You know what I'm saying? And I was the only one at that point who actually watched Death Note. And you know, we had a conversation off camera when Death Note 1, and we was like, you know, we don't think we're ready to watch that as a group. I don't think it was shocking enough to grow our YouTube channel. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think there was oh shit or like Attack on Titan moments or like Dragon Ball. Like those type of moments, the ones we were looking for. That was really, they were really trendy and they were gaining a lot of hype on our channel. So when we saw that Death Note 1, we had a conversation. We was like, you know what? I don't think this is the one for us.
I don't think our reactions to be that crazy.
Yeah,
I remember saying exactly that.
And like these guys, they'd watched anime in the past where like they were, when we started watching it on YouTube, they were getting back in it. Except for Jerry. I think Jerry was watching anime throughout the whole time.
Yeah, I was
right?
watching.
I started Naruto and I stopped as a kid. You feel me? So y'all already shows as a child that I didn't even know what anime was until we started doing YouTube. Until this thing was like, oh yeah, this is anime. I'm like, oh shit, my nigga, I didn't even know Dragon Ball Z was an anime.
Yeah.
All this shit. I just thought it was all just animation bracket.
Guys, we can't. Oh nah, say what you're gonna say.
And it was definitely dope because I feel like at that time you could just think how early it was, and even Attack on Titan. Like I personally didn't even want to watch that shit. Like it was, and think about it, it's Attack on Titan. So I didn't want to watch Attack on Titan. Off rip when Wells was like, yo, Death Note has no action, there's more dialogue, and we weren't even watching shows. So I didn't watch Game of Thrones yet, I didn't watch Breaking Bad yet, Walking Dead. So I was just really music. I was just into music, into documentaries of music. So to jump into that, it wouldn't, like, we really were forcing it, like, yo, no, like, yo, we can't do that. Like, I am definitely not trying to watch that. Like, that's probably one of the reasons why Evan wasn't even in anime.
Yeah.
Because of that. That was the second choice going into, or third choice going into it. And I just feel like, yo, we ready for it now.
Yeah.
And the reactions now are going to be fire. It's like us trying to have a podcast back then. Would have like it's perfect time now because
exactly.
We're in the culture. So it's just the same way we're starting a podcast, the same reason we could start Death Note.
Bro, I remember Rob seeing the trailer for Attack on Titan, nigga. That show was the funniest shit ever. He's like, nah. You niggas is wild.
I'm not watching this shit. I don't know if I can watch this shit with you, Wells. I don't know about that.
Just thinking about that, like having this conversation, I'm a person that loves like looking back at scenarios and always just studying it because you always learn. And like even having this conversation right here, I learned that my mind got opened up to other worlds and shows through anime. Because think about it, the first show that I can say I watched going into it was Attack on Titan. That opened the doors for Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Like it was no other show. And honestly, prior to that, the last show I probably watched was probably like Justice League and like Smallville. So I was really out of it. And that storyline, seeing anime seeing that anime is broader because I grew up on Yu Yu Hakusho, I grew up on Rurouni Kenshin, I grew up on Dragon Ball Z, and I like past that we didn't even know it was anime to Wells, and then Wells was like, yo, he was watching Dragon Ball Z Super, and even that I didn't want to get back into, and I was a Dragon Ball Z fan, and then Wells was like, yo, you need to watch Afro Samurai.
Yeah.
Oh, yep, yeah.
Afro Samurai, and then when I watched it, the way it made me feel like. Even at that point in my time, I could say like this anime saved me from a midlife crisis. I could say because I could say at that time I was like, if you told me I was gonna watch cartoons and like Avatar and like anime in my life at that time, the way I would have looked at you and said, "Nigga, you're crazy." Like I'm never getting back into it, and it's like this anime world. That's why I like the way I'm looking at it is like I'm a kid all over again, but I'm a grown kid. So. It's fun, and you guys, like, this is dope. Like, honestly, I love you niggas talking shit, all that. Like, I love it, man. I feel like we're all kids again, and I would have been, if you knew me at 12, 13, I would have been the same way, probably with 10 times worse, repping who I wanted.
I feel you.
Gangster.
And I'm glad the path we chose and what animes to watch and what we didn't. Because honestly, like, we did lie about watching Death Note because we wanted to watch something else that was suited to more what we were watching already. So that's why we went with Seven Deadly Sins at that time. But that I feel like the path after that, like I learned my lesson at that point. I never did a poll after that until very recently on Patreon when we started watching like Promised Neverland, you know, and One Piece got selected and all these other things that we've been watching recently. So like I would just went ahead and started choosing animes that were more suited to us, and I wouldn't change it for a thing because I feel like a lot of these shows that we watch, like right now we're watching Death Note, we kind of had to prepare, especially like you could say individually we could watch a show. I'm not saying we're dumb, we can't watch Death Note, but like it's different to watch it on camera,
exactly,
and then have enough to be like, okay, let me cut up a reaction for it, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the time, like it's hard to kind of keep up, talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, digest and talk about it at the same time.
Exactly. And then with anime, it's a lot of that. So, like, we went from Attack on Titan, One Punch Man, a lot of action shit, because those are easier to get, like, oh shit, their fight moments are, like, the easiest to kind of get a good reaction for. And, like, if you guys are starting the reaction channel, too, on anime, I would suggest go that route, too. Because if you start with Death Note, Like there is shocking moments, but you have to pay attention more, and you kind of have to be an expert or do a lot more to kind of absorb it and
regurgitate it.
Exactly, yeah.
Simultaneously.
So that's the major reason why we lied about watching Death Note. But again, guys, we haven't watched that at all. I wouldn't change it for a thing, honestly.
Facts.
I apologize if you guys thought we trying to scam me out of Patreon dollars, or like we've been faking a whole bunch. That's another thing.
No bullshit.
People say we've been faking reactions. Like, nah, we honestly since then we didn't have to do that because we didn't do any polls after that. So we would never fucking fake a reaction. That's whack. You know what I'm saying?
It takes away the whole essence of reaction.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like I said, like if I watch something, I would happily tell you guys I watch it. No matter what it is.
Have you done it many times? Attack on Titan,
Naruto, like.
No, but at that time we would lie about something we just didn't want to watch.
Yeah.
And you really know us. That's really us. Like if we just won't want to do something, we just don't want to do it.
And I would have been fucking faked and started My Hero Academia from season 1 because one of my biggest mistakes is like we all watched My Hero Academia the first 2 seasons or whatever, and one of my biggest regrets was not reacting to it. Well, not even regrets because we couldn't have because we watched it, but was starting My Hero Academia from season 1 and then reacting through season 1, 2, and then when season 3 came out. Yeah. Because I think our channel, I feel like we would have seen more success with a lot of the My Hero Academia reactions, even though we see it now. But I see other reaction channels who start from like episode 1 on any anime, and by the time they get to the stuff that's live or up to date, those reactions go a little crazier. So that's one of my biggest regrets. And I would have been fake the shit out those reactions, you know what I'm saying, for that, but I didn't because you watched it.
Did you? Oh yeah, and it's dope too. Like this journey we took with anime, and even seeing other channels too, like dope channels like the Normies, like Blind Wave. Your boy Roshi, and like just the anime community world is so dope, and we really appreciate that you guys allowed us to be in this. So trust me, we would never lie about not seeing something. And honestly, you know how hard that would be. Like, I don't know if I could watch. Like, I'm a person I can't watch something. I would have been watching Game of Thrones all over again. I just can't rewatch something. Like, I don't know. I just can't do it.
Think about it, you would have to make fake predictions of shit that doesn't happen because
you gotta catch yourself.
Shit.
We deserve fucking acting.
Yeah.
Y'all believe that? We deserve an acting deal.
The niggas are saying in the comments like they're acting.
How many episodes? Like, nah.
Yeah. And there's plenty more shit that we can watch right now besides Death Note. You know what I'm saying? If you wanted to, like, that would probably help benefit our channel more than Death Note. We could watch Bleach. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We could, like, we already...
We could have just said we didn't watch Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's like, yo.
Anything, nigga. We can go to anything that's super popular right now and be like, we haven't watched it, but Death Note. That's why when I was surprised when it was happening because I didn't even remember
at all.
Saying that shit or, like... I thought we was going into Death Note with a clean slate. Besides me, I watched the whole thing. Like I said, I mentioned already. But guys, everybody on the couch besides me has not watched Death Note.
Not at all.
I hope this answers y'all questions.
I'm souped though.
Why?
I feel like, cause I keep thinking about it. I was like, yo, realistically, man, like for the shows that we did, like especially like I could say Hunter x Hunter and Vinland Saga. Really allowed us to be able to do a show like that.
Yeah.
Like I've never known how detailed the storylines are for animes if it wasn't for those shows, man. Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood, top fucking tier shit. Those shits had storylines that you had to be invested in order to really understand the whole plot.
Two things that we watched on this channel, Westworld and what's that show called with the fucking explosion?
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl. Watching those 2 shows prepared me for Death Note. I could easily say. So, and Death Note's fire.
Yeah, that shit's
Death Note
cold,
gives you a
bro.
different perspective on anime. Just because, like, especially if you've been brought up just like watching action anime.
Yeah.
Like, I had watched two animes that we haven't done that I don't know, but like I watched two animes. I watched an anime called School Rumble that's like a romantic comedy. And it was so different to me because I'm like, wow. Because I really thought School Rumble, I'm like, yeah, they finna fight. They be in school. But then I watch it and I'm just like, yo, what is this? But like the craziest thing is that the craziest thing about School Rumble was it only had 2 seasons. And it was dope. Like for me, it was dope. So like being able to watch that, I was able to be like, you know what, I could open my mind to watch other animes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like to watch other TV shows. And like Death Note, like for watching Death Note, if you are action anime, it gives you that perspective to just be like, well, anime is just more than fights, explosions, like people, like other issues. You know what I'm saying? Transformations. It's more than just that. It's like it's actual just TV. It's like what we see. A lot of it is like what we see in live action, but just animated. Like that's all it is.
I feel that. And that's crazy that you bring that up. Like the anime isn't just action because we got a lot of flack about just doing action shits.
Yeah, My Hero people violated about that. Yeah.
Like people were saying, like, because we were saying that season 4 after the Deku and overhaul fight was boring. It was like, yo, if they ain't fighting, they niggas can't get can't get entertained, blah blah blah. So because of the choices we made in the past, that's benefited us. We got a lot of issues about choosing animes that just had action in it, and we could only do those type of things, you know what I'm saying? Which I understand your point because we believe that too, you know what I'm saying? Like, which is what leads us back to why we.
I don't agree because you gotta think about it, right? My Hero, that's a show that you can say thrives off of action scenes, but then we watch shows that thrives off of action scenes, but then they have a lot of down moments that we really appreciate. You feel me? Like Hunter x Hunter, a prime example, would have endless episodes where there's no action whatsoever, but we like, yo, my nigga, that episode. So it's like, I can't say that we need to rely, or ever really needed to rely on action in order to do it. It was just a perception that we need that. But we had a lot of moments that's just like down moments in animes and we fucked with heavy.
Even Naruto is like that too.
Yeah, I'm baby.
Naruto has a lot of down moments where there isn't action that we've just watched, and it's just like,
but we
rock with this, you know what I'm saying?
We watch shows on our channel, just live action shows in general that sometimes don't have action, just have more dialogue. And I think we just showcased that we're very versatile.
Yeah, I'm baby.
100% facts. So I hope this kind of answers your questions on why we said what we said on that 7 Deadly Sins episode 1 reaction, guys. We're not gonna address this issue no more.
I'm sorry, alright? Shit.
No more. I swear to God, we ain't.
We ain't do it.
Sorry, man.
I love y'all.
I'm so sorry that I'm gonna say this just for y'all. Fuck Yamato. Damn, that shit hurt.
Wow.
What?
That's how sorry I am. That shit hurt though.
Wow, that actually, my heart was like, oh shit, it is. I wasn't ready for that. I didn't see that coming right there. You shot the whole couch right here, bro.
I got y'all.
Imagine you said, fuck Yamato and I fuck with Kakashi.
Actually, that's how
yeah, throw that in there too.
Bro, that's how I know you're sorry.
That shit in there. That's how we know you're sorry.
You gotta apologize.
Yeah. You give him a hand, they try to take the whole arm.
Nah, we definitely gotta hear that, bro.
Say it.
Robert said he played Clash of Ninjas and the only person he was good was Kakashi. I'm done with him. I'm done with him, nigga. It's recorded. It's recorded, nigga.
We did the whole storyline and I whooped niggas' ass with Naruto.
That's after. He learned the game through Kakashi, just the same way that Naruto learned the Rasen
Shuriken.
Yeah, Rasen Shuriken
that he
from
can't
Kakashi.
use. That's how far I got. For all I know, so far he only could use it once, and then he's gonna tear his body up. So teaching him something he can't fucking use. What he do?
It's cool though, cause same way that fucking that All Might gave Deku the power when he couldn't handle it at first, we get adapted to it. You feel me? It's all Gucci, bro.
Kakashi taught Naruto a move that he used to kill a member of the Akatsuki. The Akatsuki!
And that nigga had multiple lives, multiple hearts.
Yeah, nigga, he took out 2 hearts simultaneously, yo.
No, you know what? I'm gonna just fuck it, yo. We lied because Robbie. We gonna. You want to troll them now? You want to hear my nigga Kakashi? That's your fault.
Nah, hell yeah, because I didn't want to watch that shit. You know what? Fuck Kakashi, y'all back, nigga. Y'all told me full fucking power.
No, that was funny though. So, man, if you guys want to see us talk about anything else on That Settles This podcast, we're going to be talking about music. We're going to be talking about cartoons. We're going to be talking about all the types of anime stuff, arguments that we usually can't get to. And we wanted to start this podcast because we noticed that sometimes after our reactions, we argue for like a good 25 minutes.
Yeah, we gotta cut ourselves off. Like, all right, my nigga.
Yeah. Like, we looking at each other like, damn, nigga, you gonna keep arguing? Like, yo, shit, we got more to shoot. So, like, so it's a good thing. I'm happy that we could start our first episode kind of bonding with what you guys had an issue with. You know what I'm saying? It's something that directly addresses the people that actually fuck with us. Because if you watched or remember episode 1 of Seven Deadly Sins, like Robbie says, you actually fuck with us.
Yeah, you're a real one. Like, I feel like we came closer to our subscribers through this situation right here, yo. We're linked. Así.
La familia.
Familia. Ya tú sabes.
La familia. So why we lied on Death Note? We answered the question, and that settles it at
The Round Table.